added a crew member. This is Tenney. This is his vehicle. This is what year?
It's 06.
It's an 06 Dodge Viper.
Now this is a full-on Hennessey
Venom 1000.
Venom 1000.
And the 1000 means it costs only $1,000 to tack on. No, 1,000 horsepower?
That's it.
And how do they achieve that 1,000 horsepower? And then, so 06 would have been making a low 600 horsepower or high 5?
Maybe not quite there yet, but yeah, in the zip code of
590, something like that. And they've massaged it and figured out a way to get to 1,000.
1,100 at the wheels, so maybe a bit ahead of that with the math for the crank.
I'm going to go ahead and just go on a limb and say there will be more coming off the crank at the rear wheels.
Yeah.
And at 1,100 rear wheels, you could be 1,250, 1,300 coming off that crank.
So on this car, this is twin turbo, right?
Indeed.
Now, to get that kind of horsepower out of it, they had to build the motor up basically from scratch.
Yeah, it's a little bigger. It's 522 cubic inches now, so more displacement too.
And 10.5 cylinders. I don't know if you knew that.
10.5.
They added half a cylinder. They added a half a cylinder. Just
so this thing was featured on the cover. Was that Road and Track back there?
Road and Track and Motor Trend.
Tell us, just brag a little about this car and what it did to the other cars.
Okay. Well, first of all, I had nothing to do with it, so my bragging will be secondhand. But it beat the Veyron in the standing mile, and at the end, the Veyron was doing 200, and this was doing 220.
Right.
Wow.
Up to 100, the Veyron owned it because it's all-wheel drive, but then this one has a point of view past 100.
Wow. Except for it failed in the crucial hot blonde test at the end when they just had the hot blonde. They put the two like they would do in the old westerns with the horses. Whose horse is this?
Who does it belong to?
Hot blonde was like, I'm going with Simon Cowell over here.
Like the Veyron.
But the dudes all jumped on this one.
So how did you come to get this car? So you didn't have this built.
And what
with
was
Hennessey,
the top speed, by the way, in the standing?
It ended up 220.
Viper's having a whole resurgence now. I mean, it's one of these cars where they've threatened to do away with it like every single year, but then they just seem to keep coming back with something bigger and something better. Boy, as far as the Corvettes go and the Vipers go, this is like one of these things where it's like you guys fight it out, and me, the consumer, and my pocketbook will be the big winner here, because all you guys will do is just keep getting faster and better and quicker. And the price, although it goes up,
it does.
It's not $200,000 for guys that are setting those kind of track times at Laguna Seca or the Nürburgring.
No.
So this, where did you physically do this, Tenney?
Lemoore. It was at Lemoore Naval Air Station, hence the Fly Navy. As a matter of fact, both tests, the Motor Trend test, which was also road course and things like this, and Road and Track were both done at Lemoore.
And what other cars are they up against?
The Road and Track was the Veyron primarily, new Lambo, that type of food group. And then the other one, Motor Trend, was Ford GT, some tuner cars, tuner GTO and things like that. And it won both tests.
You could pick up, I'm guessing, an 06, not this one, but you could pick up an 06 Viper for somewhere in the 40s, 50s?
I'm thinking 40s, 30s to 40s, depending upon mileage and condition. I would say a performance car like this, definitely have a dealer mechanic check it out and see what the mechanicals look like.
And you go to Haggerty.com and check that thing. But the point is if you were nuts, like Tenney, you could go and pick up a nice single owner 06 Viper for $37,000. You could take it to Hennessey.
You can.
You could give them
100.
Well, the dust, what stage you went to. Give them a budget. Maybe you're miserly and just wanted 850 horsepower or something, and you could have a pretty killer car for under $100,000. It would smoke 99.999% of anything that pulled up next to you on the freeway or the stoplight, right?
Exactly.
And as you say, they go around corners okay. A lot of the reputation is they're dangerous and whatnot, and I suppose anything's dangerous, but they do have the ring record, I think, and the Laguna Seca with the new ones, so they do go around corners. A lot of grip.
They turn and handle.
Well, with the 275 30 series up front, and God knows
335s.
335s in the back, there's at least a large contact surface with the road, even if that can be coming around toward the front of the car very easily.
Yeah, good.
And with this kind of horsepower, I imagine that even 335 tires, it's like there's no way it hooks up. It's just got to just tear these things apart.
Yeah, once the boost comes in, it does what it does.
Oh, there's no latch from inside the car?
No. Luxury.
Race car.
That's a luxury item.
Wow. Yeah. That's just a bunch of weight.
Cable would weigh?
This is a beautiful looking, I'm guessing aluminum plenum on top there.
And then you have your turbos way down here in the front on either side.
Wastegates built in up here, or blow off valves or whatever we're calling them. Do wastegates still exist, or do we rename them?
They do, but they're on the exhaust side. These blow-off valves are on the
I
intake
see. We got wastegates and blow-off.
So when this throttle body closes, all that air backs up, and instead of blowing it back into it'll pop out of these deals.
Oh, okay. Very almost stock looking in the sense that this is the way they should have done it.
Right.
And looks great. I don't know how much extra cooling. I'm guessing there's an oil cooler and an intercooler and
is there an intercooler for the intake?
Yeah, and then these are your reservoirs for the Motons right here. And it has a quaif differential.
Bigger heat exchange. And what diff ratio do you have to put in a car like this to go 225 miles an hour, and then do you swap it out when you go back to the street with it, or do you just have so much torque you don't care?
I think it's got so much torque with the big motor that you don't have to grab it by the throat to make it run. You can let it out. You let out the clutch in first gear and it rolls, so you don't have to give it any gas or anything.
It's funny how the turbo almost acts as a muffler on a lot of cars, you know?
It does.
That wasn't us. That car alarm was not us. Not this time.
No. It's a very balanced. That V10 has a unique tone all by itself.
Yeah. It really does.
And that's the Viper
These 5 cylinders sound great.
What's that?
These 5 cylinders sound great.
Yeah, these 5 sound great over here.
We're hitting pretty strong.
Yeah. All right, Tenney, you can shut it down and hop out if you like. The new Viper's nice, but not much nicer. I'd find a nice used 06.
I kind of like the hot rod version here. This is nice.
I do too as well. Tenney, thank you so much for bringing it out.
Pleasure.
This is a really cool car. I don't think we've had, at least this year, Viper out before.
Right.
And
and the Hennessey one is great. They did
Adam, you and Haggerty doing the Lord's work. Haggerty.com, and
check out their pricing guides.
Valuation tools.
And try out the app too.
Yep.
Again, if you're just a car geek like us and you just want to sit around and see what stuff's worth and do the, oh man, that's what it was worth then and look what it's worth now, and try to figure out where it's going. And don't get caught up in this thing where you go, oh, I missed the window. If it's still going.
There's still more windows to catch.
There's still more windows to catch. All right, so until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Tenney and Adam and Matt saying, keep the air in the spare and the bag in the wheel.